Every state in Nigeria is blessed with solid minerals and in commercial quantity too. The north, south, east and west. We have states like Zamfara, Kebbi, Niger and Osun, which are very rich in gold. Ebonyi, Plateau and Nasarawa are blessed with tin and tantalum. The bitumen in Ondo State is of the highest quality anywhere in the world. Anambra has iron ore and limestone in abundance. The list goes on. But what benefits have we been deriving from these natural resources? On this week's episode of the program, we take a look at the solid minerals sector. Hello there. Thank you for joining us on the program this week. I'm Gloria Umezuki. The solid minerals sector forms a key component of the federal government's economic recovery and growth plan. The government is already targeting a whopping 141 billion naira revenue from the sector by 2020. Now, how is that feasible? My guest is from the Miners Association of Nigeria. But first, what are the stories that made headlines within the week in the nation's capital? As fuel scarcity across the country bites harder, the Department of Petroleum Resources has sealed a petrol station in Kubwa, a satellite town in the Federal Capital Territory. The Group Managing Director of the NNPC, Mr. Mekanti Baru, led a team from the DPR to the airing station, which he says has been operating without a license.
This particular station was discovered by DPR on a tip-off by good Samaritans, good citizens of this country, for which government is very much appreciative, and we want more of these good citizens to keep coming forward to tell us those stations where they are keeping products, they are holding products, and when they are selling above the price. In this particular case, DPR, when they came, they confirmed that this station is in fact an illegal station. But part of the actions taken by the department is to give away the product free. And that is what is happening now. All those in the queue, both motorcycles and cars and buses, are all getting this product free. And this is just one of the measures the department is taking if they find such locations.
In a bid to address the lingering fuel scarcity in the country, the Senate Committee on Petroleum Downstream has summoned the Minister of State for Petroleum, Mr. KACHIKWU, and the Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, Dr. Mekanti Baru, for an investigative hearing next week.
We will commence work from 2nd and 3rd, and the Minister and the GMD, plus other stakeholders of DAPMAN, MOMAN, IPMAN, and any interested party to come and appear before the committee to give account of what they have done.
President Muhammadu Buhari is wishing that the country would not witness a year like 2017 again, as he describes it as a tough and tumultuous year for Nigerians. The president said he was looking forward to seeing a better and prosperous year in 2018. President Buhari was speaking when he hosted political, religious and traditional leaders in the Federal Capital Territory who paid him Christmas homage at his official residence in the presidential villa.
It has been a tough year for Nigeria, and I hope the next year will be a much more prosperous one. But God listened to the prayers of the majority of us. The rainy season was very good. And unsolicited, I got very good information from home I never knew or I forgot that people from Kano who are more resourceful used to go to my area and hire farms. This year, nobody hired out his farm. And the one thing I learned to respect is good laborliness, both on individual and national level. That was why when I was elected, my first call was Chad, Niger, Cameroon, and Benin Republic. If you are in good terms with your neighbors, then you can make some savings for development. But if you start fighting your neighbor, I'm afraid the resources you have, you will waste it in trying to be very clever. So I try to be very close to my neighbors individually and nationally.
Clerics across the nation's capital have been preaching the message of love and hope at Christmas. The prelate of the Anglican Church and Bishop of Abuja Diocese, the Most Reverend Nicholas Oko, is appealing to the government to rescue Nigerians from hardship occasioned by the scarcity of fuel and poor electricity supply, while the Catholic Archbishop of Abuja, Mr. John Cardinal Onaigo, says it's time for Nigerians to make some sacrifices and be hopeful of a better tomorrow.
We need the rescue mission of government. That's what actually I was drawing their attention. You know that in Nigeria today, if you build a house, you must bring water to it. You must provide your light. You must provide road to the place. These are municipal services. A local administration is supposed to provide these things. Why is our own different? If the local authorities can be made to do these things, it will be good news to the poor.
You don't have to solve all the problems at once, but there are certain things that can be done that people will say, oh, we are getting out of our mess. That has to be done. And I think our rulers must take that very seriously and put aside political rivalries and rhetorics.
Meanwhile, Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo is speaking to Christians about the twin issues of salvation and redemption in the spirit of the season. The Vice President was speaking at a Thanksgiving service in honor of the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Yakubu Dogara, whose birthday comes a day after Christmas.
There's something important about redemption and greatness. I was so pleased today when I heard Pastor Abuja talk about that relationship between redemption and greatness. The understanding that really our lives must be about service, because the one who saved us died for us and served us, to the end. So I'm really so excited to be here and to celebrate with my brother, because I've been greatly enriched today, greatly enriched and greatly encouraged in my Christian faith.
A total of 126 inmates from Kuje, Kefi and Suleja prisons have regained their freedom after the Chief Judge of the Federal Capital Territory visited the prisons as part of the federal government's ongoing efforts to decongest the facilities. The freed inmates include suspects who have spent over 5 years behind the bars awaiting trial, as well as others who have served 5 years and above for minor offences.
The payment of fines for conflicts of offences with option of fines, but unable to pay, kickstarts the process which will be replicated in prisons across the nation. A review of cases of inmates awaiting trial of upwards of 5 years will also be conducted across prisons.
This committee had written to the two legislative arms of the legislature, Senate and House of Reps, seeking audience respectively with the Senate President and the Speaker House of Representatives in order to simultaneously, with the decongestion of prison, to engage in the advocacy for the passage of the existing bills that relate to the Nigerian prisons, so that at the end of the day, we will have a more effective prison services.
Welcome back. Now, following the communal clash in Buhari, a suburb in the nation's capital, the Minister of Federal Capital Territory is warning traditional rulers, religious leaders and residents of the area to desist from acts capable of causing a repeat of the violence. On this week's FCT in Focus, we take you to Buhari to see the extent of the damage of the communal clash. Take a listen.